71. It's just stop and stop again, 15 over 241, and then finally you start moving. Engine and accident, visit superlawyer.com. Jeff Bach, Kfi in the sky.
Olympic gymnast Simone Biles is out of the women's team finals and apparently out of the individual events as well. This is by her own choice and not because of an injury.
Today has been really stressful. We had to work out this morning. It went okay, and then just that 5.5 hour wait or something, I was just like shaking, could barely nap. I just never felt like this going into a competition before, and I tried to go out here and have fun and warm up in the back, went a little bit better, but then once I came out here I was like, no, mental's not there, so I just need to let the girls do it and focus on myself.
Meanwhile, Team USA men's basketball gave Iran a 120-66 defeat. And swimmer Katie Ledecky took the gold in the 1,500-meter freestyle. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Seller's advantage. You call them up if you want to get out of here. You can't live in a place where they won't let your kids go to school, all right? Your kids are going to get permanently damaged by this. And if they won't let you work, what's left? Go where you can get a job. Go where the schools are open. Call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy your house as is. And they can make this happen quickly. You don't have to fix up your house. You don't have to clean it. There's no strangers walking into your home. Those open houses are dreadful. No such thing with Seller's Advantage. In fact, they'll close on your home in days if that's what you need, or months. They're highly reviewed on Google, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Seller's Advantage has purchased over 10,000 properties since 2007. BRE number 0196-1658. SellersAdvantage.com. Call them. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS. 888-321-AS-IS.
SoCal weather from KFI. Sunny and warm today. Temperatures will range from the low 70s at the beaches. We'll make it into the low 80s for Orange County and Metro LA. And we'll be in the mid to upper 90s for the valleys and the IE. And we do have a flex alert starting at 4 this afternoon, lasting till 9 tonight. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Homeowners, you hear the news every day. Rates go up and rates go down. While the economy struggles to recover, rising inflation rears its ugly head. Stop banging your head against the wall. Mortgage rates are again at all-time lows. That's right, rates are at all-time lows. Put a bit of cash back in your pocket with a refi from True Mortgage. Get a 15-year fixed at just 1.75%, 2.140% APR. Even better, True Mortgage will cover your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. Qualification is fast and simple. Keep more of your hard-earned money and boost your savings. Lock in a lifetime of true value today with the lowest rates ever offered at 800-620-1162. That's 800-620-1162. 800-620-1162. Or visit TrueNow.com. Sign on the right 18-year True Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to underwriting approval and not all applicants will qualify. Loans made are arranged pursuant to a California Finance Law License number 60-DBO44713 and MLS number 1626699.
Love me a summer vacation, or staycation, or playcation. Call it whatever you want, because I can do all three right here in Morongo. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Save your cash and pay with coins. It's simple. Play, earn, then pay for gas, gifts, and even a room with your rewards points.
Number 4.
Mark, Donnie, and Paul are calling you. The coolest brothers bring you the best burgers and fries slathered in wall sauce. Now open at Morongo.
3.
We bring the beach to you at Morongo. Oasis Pool has its own white sand beach.
Number 2.
Upgrade your stage spa experience. Get illuminating, rejuvenating, or chill mode eye gels for only $20 when you purchase any massage service.
And the number 1 reason.
You can't pick just one reason. The slides, the table games, restaurants, bars, Oasis Pool, stage spa, or the casinos. Pick them all.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good times.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
24-hour news. More stimulating talk.
Dancing and Tea, baby. It is the Bill Handel Show, KFI AM 640. Kennedy in for Handel. Handel's going to chat with us in just a little while, in about an hour and a half. We're going to talk about the good old days, the future, where he's at, where he's going. You'll hear it from him. If you have any questions Twitter, at Kennedy Nation. Vox is a leftist website, and they often editorialize in this very progressive way. And they've got a new article out, corporations aren't going to save America. It is the further demonization of corporations. And they talk about the benevolence, the half benevolence of Starbucks providing public restrooms. When if they were really forced in Philadelphia, there were two black men who were having a meeting at Starbucks. One of them got up to use the restroom. A barista noticed that they hadn't bought anything, so they tried to kick them out. They called the police. It was an embarrassment for Starbucks. And then they decided, remember they used to have the code on the bathroom? They decided that fine, anyone can use the bathroom at Starbucks. So I partake in that. And all of my showering and personal hygiene needs, I just take care of at Starbucks, regardless of whether or not I'm getting a venti ice cream tea. But, there is this idea, this pervasive idea that corporations are bad, and corporations now extend to small businesses. Anyone who is an S-Corp or an LLC, you're probably a bad person if you're one of the people fueling the engine of the American economy. And we saw this the other day at the town hall on CNN with the president, who, was sort of mansplaining to a business owner who was worried about the shortage of workers because so many people are being incentivized to stay at home and not go out and seek employment, especially in the restaurant industry, because they're making more money on federal insurance than they would if they were going out and working. And now, of course, several states have decided to forego the federal payments, and they're incentivizing their own workers to go out and maintain employment for at least a month. And, of course, President Biden was like, we're just going to have to pay people more money, which is fine. When you are Target or Amazon, you can afford to pay people whatever you want. And it's oftentimes that these gigantic corporations work with the government to mandate these wages. These wages, $50 an hour, because they can afford it, but they know that the startups and the smaller businesses, they cannot. And in the food industry, the margins are so slim that you have no choice. If you are forced to pay people more, you're going to have to cut hours, automate, or increase prices, and oftentimes it is a combination of the three. And so, Vox is saying that corporations try to step up and do some marketing, like they were really out to help people during the pandemic. And I think they were. I think in a lot of ways, in most circumstances, people were going out of their way to help each other. And, if you were fortunate enough to be employed and you were getting food delivered, I remember getting, in the first couple months of the pandemic, getting Chipotle delivered just about every day and tipping the driver, 30-40% just as a thank you for people who were working and people who were putting themselves in harm's way. This was when there wasn't a lot of testing. This is when, we didn't have vaccines, and you weren't quite sure if you should douse the entire Chipotle bag in Windex before you unsealed it and ate the contents. But there were a lot of corporations who were doing a great deal of good. But more importantly, there are small businesses who still continue to struggle, who still are fighting these schizophrenic regulations that are changing at breakneck speed. And they're trying to keep up with all of that, and they have found ways to do that. And they have found ways to serve their customers and to keep their customers engaged and loyal. And it has been an absolute uphill battle. And, it is the easiest thing when we are making this slide down a socialist slope to demonize corporations. And it's laughable to me because people, especially younger progressives, they love to they love to rally the Antifa flag and really stick it to the man. But meanwhile, this is a generation of people who loves Uber Eats. They love scooters. They love being able to engage in the conveniences that corporate life has to offer, and somehow they're mad at Starbucks for providing bathrooms because, the government hasn't provided enough public restrooms. It's like all you have to do is go to downtown LA or visit San Francisco, and you realize that the world is your bathroom, that people soil the streets everywhere, that, if hopscotching human feces were an Olympic sport, San Franciscans would be world champions. So, yeah, there is still a lot of good that is happening, and most of it is happening in the private sector because the public sector has failed us utterly on every single level, especially when the impulse is to take and then to control. Those are two things that are antithetical to freedom and to human nature, and that's why people start businesses to begin with. It is mostly to solve the problems that government creates. This is the Bill Handel Show on KFI AM 640. It is live everywhere on the succulent iHeartRadio app. I'm Kennedy, and here's Jennifer Jones-Lee with the news.
Some U.S. officials are concerned about the buildup of China's nuclear forces. Last month, the Washington Post said China was building about 120 missile silos out in the desert. Gunmaker Remington's offering $33 million to settle a lawsuit filed by the families of Sandy Hook Elementary School victims. And a second test flight of the Boeing commercial spacecraft is on track for this week. NASA and Boeing say the CST-100 Starliner spacecraft is set to launch on an Atlas V rocket Friday in the afternoon. We'll take a look at your drive with KFI in the sky next.
Have you ever called a service company and been shocked by the way the technician looks when they show up at your home? You know what I'm talking about? The creepy-looking person in an old pickup truck wearing a dirty T-shirt who just plain makes you feel uncomfortable to be around. This is Leland Smith, owner of Service Champions Plumbing, Heating, and AC, and I promise you, you'll never have this problem in your home. All of our technicians must pass a background check and a drug test, and adhere to our strict grooming guidelines. We'll send you an email with their name and a picture before they show up. And when they get there, they'll park where you can see them. They'll be wearing a clean uniform and a company ID, and they'll lay down a mat and put booties on their feet before ever entering your home. At Service Champions, it's all about respect. Respect for your home, respect for your equipment, and most importantly, respect for you. Our number is toll-free at 833-777-7777, or find us online at servicechampions.com.
My accident lawyer actual client.
I was hit on a motorcycle by a truck, resulting in serious leg injury. My first lawyer downplayed it. Then I called iaccidentlawyer.com. They got me $8 million on my first home of cash, and I got savings for the rest of my life. Thank you, iaccidentlawyer.com.
Attorney Robert Coney, results vary, not a guarantee.
SoCal weather from KFI. We've got a sunny, warm day ahead with highs from the 70s at the beaches to the mid to upper 90s inland. This report is brought to you by iaccidentlawyer.com. Let's check out your drive on the east. Jeff, where are you heading?
The 170. Thanks, Jeff. No problem at all. If you are, or if you have been, I should say, been making this drive for a while now, I'm sure you put up with the construction. Pretty much done. And South 170 is showing it. It's really in pretty good shape right now, coming away from the 5. Gets a little slow at Magnolia. I think she'll take that any day. Now, going through the interchange, and you magically change numbers. It goes from the 170 to the South 101 Hollywood Freeway. There's a lot of volume there, that's for sure. It's slow coming up and over the hill. But after that, it's pretty much Vermont, right down to the 4 level, just plain slow going. Now, I came through East LA. We were searching and searching. I finally think I see it. Northbound 5. Underneath the Calzona overpass, if you're with me, that's a little bit before the East LA interchange. There seems to be a small vehicle of some type. It's just sitting in the right lane. That's what it's all about. So it's not bad coming up from the 605. Traffic's moving north of Lakewood, Rosemead, but it does get slow for 710 as you go to that. Southbound Drive, it's looking pretty good as you get down towards the 605. And the 110 interchange around the Harbor Freeway, Santa Monica, around the Convention Center. It's all lanes are open now, but it's just real slow. That West End especially going out to West LA. A lot of patience required there. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Bach, KFI in the sky.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. It's grilling season at Whole Foods Market. Celebrate with animal welfare certified plain or marinated beef kebabs for $7.99 a pound through August 4th, while supplies last. Plus, Prime members save an extra 10%. See more on the Whole Foods Market app.
Rates subject to change without notice. Minimum loan amount requirements apply. 60% loan to value and 620 FICO credit score. Certain restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. NMLS 3290. Loans made or arranged pursuant to a California Finance Lenders Law license number 6036970. Equal housing lender.
Let's be positive. Let's not think about all the reasons why we think we can't get that home loan that we need. How about thinking of all the reasons why you can get that home loan? I can come up with one big one. You just call IntelliLoan. See, right now, whether you just have okay credit, maybe you're self-employed, whatever that reason it is that you're doubting yourself, IntelliLoan can help you get that great home loan that you need. And right now, IntelliLoan is offering a 1.99% APR with no points or lender fees, and this is even if your credit score is a 620. It's a 1.99% APR with no points or lender fees, and again, this is even if you've got a credit score of 620. So quit doubting your situation. Let IntelliLoan help you. Get that IntelliLoan rate before the rates go up. Call 1-800-918-6200. That's 1-800-918-6200. Or just go to IntelliLoan.com.
IntelliLoan. Borrow smart.
LA Kings Die Hard season ticket memberships are now on sale for the 2021 and 22 season. Be there in person for every LA Kings home game for just $20 per game. Limited memberships are available, so visit lakings.com/diehards or call 1-888-KINGS-LA for more details.
Still loving those Solar Max panels, yeah?
I just wish I went Solar Max sooner. I'd be saving even more money.
Right now, you can get the Tesla 420 panels and power walls for $79.96 per month at zero down.
Dial pound 250 on your cell and say Solar Max, or go to solarmaxtech.com. Monthly payment available on approved credits. I guess will be number 9720.
Looking for your next investment? Want to cash out of stock market risk and volatility? Here are 8 reasons to consider NRIA's proven real estate development fund. Monthly cash flow payouts of 10% annualized and bonuses to 21% targeted. We strategically locate in lower risk, high demand areas people are moving to. New construction is short on supply. Real estate affords diversification and safety from stock market risk and volatility. We have substantial property assets selling out every month supporting your investment. Our short and long-term strategy provides for steady returns today and major upside targets. Our buildings are socially responsible, environmentally friendly, and pandemic hardened. We are an industry leader with a 15-year proven track record. Hedge against inflation and receive steady cash flow. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414. An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram powder with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR positive, HER2 negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Be in your limit. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning and loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I'm ready to get my COVID-19 vaccine, Mom.
Really, baby? I want to be sure they're safe. I'm worried they will develop too quickly.
Hey, I'm way ahead of you. Doctors and pediatricians say it's safe and effective for kids 12 and up. The vaccine is based on technology that's like 20 years old. And there are clinical trials with kids just like me.
Okay. Since you're such an expert now, you can help make your appointment.
Visit myturn.ca.gov to schedule a vaccine appointment. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Tickets are on sale now for our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 17th and 18th in Las Vegas. Billie Eilish, Cheap Trick, Coldplay, Dua Lipa, Phineas, Florida Georgia Line, J. Cole, Journey, Khalid, Lil Baby, Maroon 5, Nelly, Sam Hunt, Weezer, and more on the T-Mobile Arena Nighttime Stage. Get tickets now through AXS.com. That's AXS.com.
He said we have to level the playing field. What is leveling the playing field? I don't understand. To be where I'm at. Slow down. No, what playing field is he level? Yeah. Okay, take you out right
right now. John and Ken, weekdays at 2.
That's a Hall of Fame material.
Oh, shove your golden mic. On KFI.
Hola, ni Ken, bueno, mi amo. It is Kfi Am 640, the Bill Handel Show. You're like, wait a second, Bill has a lady's voice. I am a lady. My name is Kennedy, and I will be with you all morning. We're going to talk to Bill in just about an hour. We're going to talk to Steve Gregory in just a little bit about rising crime rates in L.A. and, the homicide numbers in California are creeping up and above the national average. Just one of the issues that is giving voters pause and making many of them consider recalling Governor Gavin Newsom. And the recall effort is one of the best tools that is available to California voters. And there are a lot of states across the country who wish they had the exact same thing. They don't. In New York State, pretty much every stripe of lawmaker, from U.S. senators to state senators, they have been calling for the resignation of Andrew Cuomo there because he's a horrible person. He sent a lot of elderly New Yorkers to die with his nursing home edict, and they have no recourse. They have to wait for a series of investigations, and hopefully he will be thrown from office or forced to resign. So far, he's a total meathead. He is not doing that. The polling numbers for Gavin Newsom going in a very different direction. In March, 38% of respondents to an Emerson University poll said that they favored the recall and they would vote to recall the governor. And now the latest LA Times poll has it at 47%. 47% of respondents say that they are strongly considering voting to recall the governor. And there are a lot of people who look at the homelessness, they look at the homicide and crime rates, which are going in the wrong direction. It's interesting because violent crime has sort of flattened, yet the homicide rate is going up. And, that's part of a national trend, and Democrats like Newsom don't really have an answer for it. And so the answer may be at the ballot box. And if you live in a city where homelessness has crept in, you look at the problem, and yes, for people who are trying to get down the sidewalk, and especially a good friend of mine pointed this out, if you are in a wheelchair, isn't that an ADA violation? If you cannot wheel down the sidewalk of a major city or even a smaller town because of tent cities and homeless encampments, and not to mention in slightly mountainous regions like the Santa Monica Mountains or the foothills of beautiful Pasadena, you see homeless camps that spark these wildfires, and they are incredibly dangerous. But if you go one step further and you look at that and you say to yourself, this is what our state has become. That people who live on the street for whatever reason, and this is a very complex series of issues, just because for some it is mental illness combined with drug addiction, which has been incapacitating, so people end up on the street. But for others, it is simply that they lost their job, they were, one bad month away from not being able to pay their rent, and people end up in their cars, they end up on the street. And Eric Garcetti and Gavin Newsom, in their ineptitude, have been complicit in just throwing people away like pieces of human garbage instead of making difficult decisions and actually tackling the crisis. And this was happening long before the pandemic, but now, in the wake of that, in the state of California, homelessness is expected to go up 86% over the next 4 years. And that's because people have lost their businesses. People have not been able to go back to work because they have kids. And now you have families on the street. But demographically, those who are going to be hit hardest by the homeless crisis will be older California residents who, even though there are so many of the path to socialistic hell is paved with good intentions, but still there are people who will not be able to afford housing in the state, and the zoning laws suck. They are so restricted, they build single-family homes. They do not build apartment buildings where many people could live at the same time because of these archaic laws and restrictions, which, the Assembly and the governor are not eager to tackle. So these are several problems that are consuming politicians like Gavin Newsom, and I do hope that he is recalled because he deserves it. People who put their own political hubris ahead of the citizens that they are supposed to help makes them especially bad people, and the recall may be one of the good things that could happen to send a message to these jerks that their time is absolutely up. This is KFI Am 640. It's the Bill Hamel Show. You can take the Bill Hamel Show everywhere with you on the iHeartRadio app. I'm David.
Mood enhancing, pharmacy grade, stimulating talk.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Feel like flexing? I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A statewide flex alert will be in effect this afternoon to ease the strain on the power grid during this week's heat wave. The independent system operator says the flex alert will start at 4 p.m. and expire at 9 tonight. The goal is to conserve power, so residents are encouraged to power down large appliances and set thermostats to 78 degrees or higher. LA County health officials say a small percentage of people in a hospital with COVID-19 are vaccinated.
But County Health Director Barbara Ferrer says the numbers are small, and that proves just how effective the vaccines are.
For Johnson & Johnson, the percent of people fully vaccinated who got infected were 0.27%. For Moderna, it was 0.09%. And for Pfizer, it was 0.15%.
As of yesterday, 80 more people were admitted to a hospital with the virus, bringing the total to 825. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
Political donor Ed Buck could get 20 years to life in prison after being found guilty of the overdose deaths of 2 gay men at his apartment in West Hollywood. One of them was a guy named Jamel Moore. He died in 2017. His mother says this is the anniversary of her son's death.
4 years ago, I got the worst news that I ever could have imagined. But today, 4 years later, I got the best news.
The second man who died of an overdose in Buck's apartment died in 2019. Prosecutors argued Buck injected mostly black gay men with methamphetamine and gave them other drugs in exchange for sex. Police in Corona are trying to figure out what happened in a movie theater where an 18-year-old woman was shot to death. A 19-year-old man was severely hurt in the shooting Monday night. The two are watching the latest movie in the Purge franchise. Police say they're still trying to identify a possible shooter or shooters. The California District Attorneys Association has called on State Senator Nancy Skinner to withdraw her pending bill that would make strong-arm robbery a misdemeanor petty theft.
Strong-arm robbery is the forcible taking of property from someone.
That's what happened to former California Senator Barbara Boxer this week when she was attacked in Oakland. The association's chief executive officer, Greg Totten, says under Skinner's bill, SB 82, people who commit such violent crimes would be eligible for diversion.
It's madness. We believe it's contributing to the lawlessness that we're seeing across this state.
Totten says Skinner is not a fan of police or prosecutors, but that his group felt they should bring this to her attention. The LA County Board of Supervisors has made a move to try and force the sheriff to hand over body cam footage and other computer records. Supervisor Hilda Solis says the measure is in response to an investigation into allegations of harassment of families of people who were killed by deputies.
The OIG has not been able to access these files and information. There's been obstruction on the other hand to prevent us from getting at the information that we requested.
Sheriff Villanueva says the motion amounts to legislative extortion and would end up in litigation. Supervisors in OC have unanimously approved spending $20 million to start developing a veterans cemetery in Anaheim Hills.
We have well over 100,000 veterans in Orange County.
OC Supervisor Don Wagner says the Anaheim Hills site ends an almost decade-long political battle to put the cemetery in Irvine.
The $20 million is a start. Nobody says that that's all it's going to take. But we're also looking for and expecting to get state funding.
He says as well as federal money and likely more fundraising after that. About 100 acres on the 280-acre site located near the 91 and 241 freeways will be for veterans. In Orange County, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Let's take a look at your drive on the 105.
You betcha, boy, busy place, that's for sure. If you just joined us coming out of Downey now, you got to be prepared. You got to have some extra time every morning to make this drive. But 105 westbound, just real slow now, even leaving the 605, but particularly from the 710 over towards Crenshaw. We had a whole bunch of earlier problems. That's the reason for all that. You want to use Imperial Highway, pick it up even with the signals. I think it's a little bit better into the airport. Eastbound side is managing okay. Now, a little farther south from there around Cerritos, eastbound 91, just before the 605. I just saw that. We just flew over it. There's a bunch of cars to the right shoulder. Just be careful if you're in that right lane. Again, that's eastbound 91 before the 605. Going towards East LA, North 5 Calzona, there was a problem in the right lane. That explains this one from the 710. And the problem over now, I think this might get worse, but you got to be heads up. It's South 405, just before the 605. Carpool lane is blocked. The word from the CHP is that there's injuries involved. I don't see fire department coming yet. That doesn't mean they're not on the way. But boy, it's getting real slow now. Come around to Lakewood. Again, this is South 405, just before the 605 carpool lane block. More coming up. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Ball, KFI in the sky.
Cody Bellinger, kind of the hero and the villain of last night's game against the Giants. He scored LA's only run. He also made an atrocious throwing error in the eighth that allowed Buster Posey to score, giving the Giants a 2-1 victory. Game 2 today at 6:45. Walker Buehler will start. You can hear it live on AM 570 LA Sports or in HD with the iHeartRadio app. The Angels fell to the Rockies by a lopsided score of 12-3. Shohei Ohtani remains a bright spot for the Halos. He knocked out a 2-run homer in the fifth, his leading 36 of the season. The series wraps up at 6:38 with Andrew Heaney on the mound at Angel Stadium. I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Still buying bottled water really eliminate the cost and hassle of buying, well, it's wasteful plastic water bottles of what it does to the environment. So let me suggest a Life Source Whole House water filtration system where you can have this delicious, clean, filtered water coming out of every tap in your home. And there are no filters to change. Once they install it, no maintenance at all. You actually forget about it. And what the Life Source water system does, reduces the odor and taste of chlorine from your water. And not only are you hydrating your body, your skin, your hair will thank you too. You're buying directly from the factory, which provides installation and customer service for the life of your system. They've been around for 36 years here in Southern California. And if you're looking to join a growing team, Life Source is hiring team members in your area. Call 800-334-5009, 800-334-5009. Visit lifesourcewater.com. Life Source Water. Taste and feel the difference.
Income-eligible renters impacted by COVID-19 can now get 100% of their past due rent and utility bills paid through the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program. Landlords with tenants who haven't paid rent because of COVID-19 are eligible for 100% reimbursement too. The application is fast, your information is private, and you won't be asked about citizenship. Apply at housingiskey.com before eviction protections end on September 30th. Brought to you by the California Department of Housing and Community Development.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is down 44, S&P up 5, NASDAQ up 114. Gold is $17.98 an ounce. The average price of a gallon of gas is $3.16, and the price of Bitcoin is $39,549.
The KFI Money Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm. Protect your business with a monitored video verification system. Visit bayalarm.com to get protected today.
SoCal weather from KFI, sunny and warm with temperatures ranging from the 70s at the coast to the 80s for Metro LA and Orange County. We'll be in the upper 90s for the valleys and the IE. Right now it is 69 in Orange and 66 in Echo Park. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
It's Kennedy and for Bill on KFI AM 640. And now something I've been looking forward to all morning. I love talking to Steve Gregory. He knows so much. He is an incredible reporter, one of the very best I have ever met. And he has been documenting the rise in crime, particularly the homicide rate in California. Steve Gregory joins me now. Steve,
how are you?
I'm so good. It's so good to hear your voice.
It is so great to hear you, and I have to tell everyone that you make the most amazing lobster mac and cheese.
Thank you, my dear. That was, I'd never made that. I made that for my 4th of July party. I was so happy that Steve was in attendance, and I got to throw down a little bit. I'm so happy you enjoyed that.
Yeah, and then we got called away to a fire, and we spent the rest of the night in Gorman. So that was not it started out as a really fun day and ended as a really unpleasant night. So.
Well, I hope you filled your pockets with mac and cheese, because that's what real survivalists do.
Yeah.
So you know, we keep reading about the stats creeping in the wrong direction. Why is crime, especially violent crime and homicide, increasing, and what is behind it all, and what is to be done?
You know, that is the $64 million question. Why has crime continued to climb in the city of Los Angeles? Now, to go back just for a couple seconds, the LA County Sheriff Villanueva announced just about a week ago that homicides in LA County are up 111%, just in the county.
Wow.
In the city, since July 24th of last year, homicides are up 26%. But the reason, according to Chief Moore, he said it's a combination of things, including pandemic-related stress, a failure and a breakdown in sort of community infrastructure because of the pandemic. So no after-school programs, no community programs, things that the pandemic have had horrible impact on, and a breakdown in the judicial system, meaning the zero bail program because of COVID, the fact that legislation in California allows people to get out on, bail or no bail very quickly. And in fact, to quote Chief Moore, guys with guns are arrested, and an hour later they're back out on the streets with guns again. And speaking of guns, crimes where guns were involved or where people had weapons, that's up 133%.
And it's interesting because, libertarians for a long time have been trying to work with both major parties on criminal justice reform. And part of that is bail reform. And the idea of bail reform is oftentimes people get into the system for things like parking infractions that they don't pay. And then there's a bench warrant out for someone's arrest, and they ignore that. Then they get pulled over or nabbed for something else. And then they land in jail, and they end up having to sit there for a long time because they can't make cash bail. That's what bail reform is supposed to be for.
Sure.
But unfortunately, there's this universal application, so people who are committing hideous crimes, they are now enjoying the fruits of this bail reform, which this is not the intention. So people who are going to hurt other people who are going to shoot other people, and people who are going to commit violent crimes, they should not be the ones who essentially get a death ticket and then are let back out onto the street to engage in multiple more crimes.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because one of these examples, a story I covered, I think it was last fall, a guy in L.A. Was stealing cars down in the South L.A. area, and he would get arrested. He would go to court, but because of the zero bail, they would let him out. So he was literally out within 2 hours. So he'd get arrested, detained, go to court, get arraigned, let out, zero bail. He did that 14 times during the pandemic. 14 times he got arrested and was released because of the bail situation. He was such a chronic car thief, but what had happened was that the county ended up changing the rule, and he'd gotten a way to work the system so well that he was doing it on a regular basis. And then one day, when they finally decided to quit the zero bail in LA County, he literally screamed in court, "Wait a minute, you have to let me go." And the judge is like, "No, that changed last week. You should pay more attention to the media or read the paper." But he was so used to it that he literally screamed in court, wait, you can't do this. You have to let me go. You have to let me go. And it's like, no, that's over. So,
but you do have to admire the brazenness and the sense of entitlement. Like, it's not even illegal to boost cars anymore. This is my job. This is what I do. I go out, I steal cars, I get arrested, I go out and steal more cars. You can't stop me.
You
This
don't
is
understand. I
progress.
have 4 more to steal by sundown.
Exactly. I have a quote in here, Judge. All right, much more Steve Gregory and moments here on the Bill Handel Show, Kennedy. And for Bill Handel on KFI AM 640, take us everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Jennifer Jones-Lee. She's got some news.
And I've got your chance to win $1,000 when we come back. COVID-19 may be no match for the Rose Queen. The Tournament of Roses has decided anyone trying out for next year's Royal Court will have to be fully vaccinated against COVID. 3 of big tech's heavy hitters just blew past Wall Street's second quarter estimates. Apple, Microsoft, and Google's parent company Apple all posted strong earnings after yesterday's closing bell. And McCormick is recalling 3 of its seasonings for possible salmonella contamination. The spice company is recalling Perfect Pinch Italian seasoning, Culinary Italian seasoning, and Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Ranch seasoning. We'll take a look at your drive with DKFI in the sky and the 405 next.
Ever since Donald Trump refused to accept that he lost the presidential election, national Republicans have been attacking election results and voting rights in states across the country. Now they've got their sights set on a power grab in California, abusing the democratic process with a recall that will cost taxpayers hundreds of millions, so they can derail California's progress and take our state backwards. Who's behind this partisan scheme? Big Trump donors, big oil companies, anti-vaxxers, and some of the same right-wing extremists who attacked the Capitol on January 6th, bankrolled by the Republican National Committee. Here's how we stop them. Every California voter will get a ballot in the mail for the September 14th special election. Vote no to protect California and our democracy. Vote no to stop the Republican recall of Governor Newsom. It's a partisan power grab. Ad paid for by Stop the Republican Recall of Governor Newsom. Committee major funding from Reed Hastings and SEIU Local 2015.
For the health coverage you need close to home, lean on Molina Healthcare. Molina has 40 years of experience and covers preventive services, prescription drugs, maternity and newborn care, and more. For details, go to leanonmolina.com. Get the care you need. Lean on Molina.
SoCal weather from KFI, sunny and warm with highs from the 70s at the coast to the upper 90s inland. This report is brought to you by Molina Healthcare. Let's take a look at that drive on the 405.
All right, you betcha we're orbiting over this right now, so listen up now. If you're coming south 405, or leaving, I should say, south 405 from LAX, now all the way down to Long Beach, it's a very easy drive. But south of 710, there's trouble ahead. You're going to stop at around, Lakewood Boulevard. The problem is south 405, just a little bit before the 605. The carpool lane is blocked. Now, CHP is pulled up. I see a cruiser down there. Thankfully, we were afraid. They said persons were hurt, but no fire department activity, so I guess great news for those involved. But they're trying to get this car and something else behind the car. I can't tell what it is. But anyway, the carpool lane is blocked. They're trying to clear right now. So back up coming away from Lakewood. South of this, things are good. The northbound drive up to LAX, just morning drive slow. The slowest part being the 110. Coming through the West 91 now from Buena Park over towards Gardena, there was a minor problem around the 605. That cleared, so kind of slow going, but not too bad. But northbound 110 downtown Los Angeles, that's in trouble now. We're going to go back there and check it out for you. Actually, both directions. North at Adams, that's before the Santa Monica Freeway, and then south 110 at 3rd, it's just south of the 4 level. We'll check both of those. Engineering activity, Superwoman, Superlawyer.com. Kfi, KFI in the sky.
I saw the light. Hmm.